Yes.
Alright. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today we're not going to vlog. This time I finally convinced her to get in the channel with me, so we'll see how this one goes. This one's not a vlog, like I said. This is more like a an informational video about what it's like being a dad and a mom at a very young age. Because whenever we had Sophia, I was only 21, almost 22, and you were 19.
Yeah.
And yeah, you turned 20 right before she was born. So after she was born, yeah. So we're gonna talk about what it's like being, in this situation at a young age when you're not financially stable, when you don't even have a place to bring a child to, what it's like, the process, and all that stuff. So we'll let her tell you guys her experience, how she found out and all that good stuff. So go ahead, let them know.
Well, I found out before he did. I didn't want to tell him though, but
because I like to tell people
he talks
my business. She don't like that.
But anyways, yeah, I found out at first, to be honest, because I was really young. I was pretty worried, and especially the way my parents are, they're really, really strict. I was like, they're going to kill me. What am I going to tell them? What am I going to say? I ended up telling my mom through a text message. And I wasn't brave enough to tell her to face, because I was like, no, she's going to just blow up on me. So I sent her a text message, and when I sent it, I was so anxious. Like, I was just so worried. And I think she ended up replying. I don't even know if it was. It was the next day or like hours later. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was hours later. And she just said, to be really honest, I don't remember what she said, but it wasn't nice.
It was something like cool.
Cool or okay. And I was like, oh my goodness. She was really upset at first. Like, she didn't really want to talk about it. She was like, you're really young, and, you should have been more careful. I mean, it happened. I wasn't expecting it, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, we were living in an apartment at the time. We really didn't have money, so we really weren't prepared for it. But to be honest, you're never prepared for it, because no matter if you're living in a really big house with all the money in the world, you never know. Your baby could be born with a disease. And, like, you're just never going to be ready. Like, if you're going to wait the perfect moment in time to have a baby, it's just not going to happen. I mean, it's just not. It's really not easy, though. I mean, you constantly, especially when I had a humongous belly, let me tell you, I was always tired.
Grumpy.
Really, really grumpy, because he got on my nerves.
She always said I stunk.
He really did. He came from outside, and he smelled like straight up, I don't even know what. Just
snake?
Smell from outside. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it stinks. Couldn't stand his smell. Didn't want him to, be close to me when I was sleeping. I couldn't even sleep. I had to basically quit my job after a while, because where I worked at the time, it was a factory. And I had to be lifting up really heavy boxes off the floor, and I just couldn't. And then we were both thinking, with just him working, he had a lot of stress on himself for, paying all the bills. Really couldn't help him with much. So what I ended up doing was going back to the restaurant where I used to work. And let me tell you, you make good tips when you're pregnant, but it's hard because you're always on your feet. And it's just exhausting. Like, it's really exhausting. For girls, don't even want to put makeup on. You don't want to do anything. You just want to get up. Don't even want to get up out of bed. But when you do get up, you just want to leave the house how you woke up. It was hard. And labor was also hard. Oh my goodness. It
was like 18 hours.
The worst pain that I have ever felt in my whole entire life. I had the epidural and it didn't work. They came, let me see.
3 times?
Well, the needle, first of all, they had an issue with it. They stuck me like 3 times and they couldn't get it right. And it was so painful. I was having contractions at the same time. And you have to be like, they set me crisscross and kind of crouched over. So I was really in pain. So I felt my, the bottom part of my body pretty numb. But when it came closer to labor, I guess, I don't know, it just wore off or something. And I felt all of it. The doctor came right before I was going into labor too to give me like an extra shot of whatever to numb me. Didn't work. I swear I felt everything. It was really hard. Just to feel his little head would like pop out and then go all the way back in. And I was like, oh my goodness. But anyways, and it ended up, having Sophia. It was the best moment of my life. Like, I would never change it. I would go through it all over again.
You're going to have to, because we're going to have another one.
I'm not done.
Okay. Oh, let me tell them what happened to me. Obviously, I wasn't giving labor or anything, but I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. I took a shower that day, and I was like, oh my God, I got to go to the hospital. Called in to work. My stomach started hurting out of nowhere. Like, I was upset. When I got there, like, I went to the hospital, I saw her in bed. I was just nervous. Hours would go by. She would not dilate. And I'm like, dude, I'm getting more nervous. And, I guess, I don't know what happened, but it upset my stomach. I had the worst diarrhea ever in the hospital.
He farted in front of the nurse.
Yeah, the nurse was in there, and I went like that, and she just went like...
She started laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so sorry. It's just...
Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy moment, but...
And also, you cannot eat anything, and that's the worst. I was starving. Like, the only thing they give you is little ice chips. Oh my God. I was so hungry. He bought Zaxby's, and... was eating in front of my face. I was so upset because I couldn't eat, and oh my God. Whenever I did, after I had her though, they gave me crackers. Let me tell you, I tore it up. I was so hungry. A lot of girls say that they feel like this huge relief after the baby comes out, which is, I mean, true, yes. But after that, I was in pain for the longest time after I had her. Like, I couldn't lay down on the bed. I had to be standing, but it was also tiring to be standing. So it was pretty hard for me. I still had pain after I don't even know how many months after. I was probably...
Then you had surgery like 2 weeks after.
I was still in pain like 4 or 5 months after I had Sophia. I had to take medicine all the time. And then I had gallbladder issues. I had gallstones. The worst. I was laying down in bed just crying. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what it was. Ended up getting checked out. And they told me I had to get surgery. Got surgery like 4 months after I had Sophia. So I had it pretty tough. I couldn't pick her up or anything. I just had to be on the couch. It's pretty hard. But now here she is. Gives me headaches every day, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't change it for anything.
And let's go back to the time you found out you were pregnant. So I've been wanting to be a father for like years. Like as soon as we got to, I met her when she was 13 and I was 15, and we were together for a long time. Now she's
high school sweethearts.
Yeah. You're 21 now, and I'm 23 now. So we've been together for a while, and I told her if it was up to me, I would have had a child by 16, but she wasn't ready. Obviously, neither was I, to be honest, because it's totally different now that you have them and you gotta raise them. I'll never forgive her for not telling me that she was pregnant, and she knew this for 2 weeks.
Actually, the Bible says you have to forgive.
Okay,
so therefore.
Okay, I'll forgive you, just for that. But anyways, yeah, I was upset. I was like, I already kind of thought in my mind that she was pregnant because she would not have her period for like 17 days. I'm like, what's wrong? And she was like, nothing, I don't know. But she already knew. I'm like, come on, man. Then I remember I told her to take a pregnancy test, and she was like, okay. She took it that Saturday morning, and I said, so what is it? She was like, it's negative. I'm like, oh my God. I went to work upset. I was in third shift working. I remember I went upset. I was feeling nauseous and just nasty. I was like, this cannot be right. She has to be pregnant. And then I told her, come pick me up at work. I don't feel good. She came, got me, and I still didn't know until like a week later. Got off work early I got home at like 7 in the morning. And she was in bed, awake, and I told her, I'm like, what's up? She was like, nothing. She's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, hungry? What do you want? She's like, I want some tres leches cake, which is like a very popular Hispanic cake. So I was like, who in the world wants tres leches cake at like 6:30 in the morning or whatever, 7 almost? And she was like, it's not me, it's the baby. I'm like, the baby? I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, no, you're not. I was like, yes, I am.
It took me so long to tell him because I was scared, to be honest. I was just really scared because I always told myself that I wasn't going to get pregnant at a young age. I just didn't know how to go about it. I just still couldn't believe it yet, so it took me a while to tell him, but I told him.
Oh, that was the happiest day of my life. I was like, what do you want? You want to go Waffle House? I think we went to Waffle House right away. Then we went to, that was actually, it was September 30th that I found out because it was the International Festival. We went there that day.
It wasn't that day.
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes, it was.
Really?
It was the International Day. Trust me.
Sophia?
International Festival. So, yeah, it was awesome just walking around with her, knowing that there's a child in her belly. But it was all good and everything. But when I went to work, and every time I would get a text, like, hey, like, how you doing? She would tell me, like, my belly hurts, I'm not feeling so good. I would get so worried, like, the worst things would come to my mind. I didn't even want to look at my phone every time it vibrated because I knew it could be, like, bad news and, like, a miscarriage or something like that, which was my biggest fear. But thank God everything went smooth, and Sophia grew healthy, and here she is now. So, what I'm trying to get to is having a child at a young age is not a horrible thing. It's a blessing. Because like I told her before, I was like, why would I wait till I'm like 30 or 40 or even late 20s to have a child? And then, because, we're getting older.
Some people don't think like you.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. So anybody that watches this video and is like, you can totally disagree. That's fine. We're not saying that having a child at an old age or a young age is bad. I mean, it's just everybody's different. Everybody has different mentalities.
Because other people worry about finance first, like being set, and that's fine. I agree with them. But for me, I knew I wasn't going to get rich, and I was only going to get older. So I was like, you know what? I want a family already, and I'm going to work just like everybody else does and raise them. So she came, and
it's, to be honest though, Sophia is my biggest blessing. She made me a better person.
We got baptized together.
She
actually came to my church, a Christian church, because she was Catholic. And that was like our biggest issue with getting married and everything. We're like, where are we going to go? I'm like, I'm not going to the Catholic church. And she's like, I'm not very sure about your church or my church, but I don't feel nothing at the Catholic church. I like the atmosphere at y'all's church better. So I was like, try it out. And we took that step, and here we are now. And I think that was a very important step that we took because we take Sophia to church whenever we go. And she gets wild in there. She's clapping and dancing and everything. So that I want to keep it that way. I want her to, as she grows up, to learn more so that she can be I'm not saying church is going to make her a better person, but I want her to be a believer in God. And you drop your Pepe. I'm not picking it up. I'm busy making a video about you. Go to sleep.
But I will tell you this though. For those of you that don't have any children yet, enjoy that time while you have it. Because you can still do things with the child, but I'm talking about like going out with your friends, having not to worry about, I don't know, just anything, you guys know what I'm talking about. Just go out and enjoy that time that you have. Because once you have a kid, a lot of people still do what they were doing, but what I'm saying is go out and enjoy your time that you have right now, because once you have a kid, you want to set a really good example for them, like, not going out every weekend to party and do all that stuff. Just set a good example for them, because we don't go out and do that stuff anymore. So that's what I'm saying, like, enjoy the time that you have, like.
And I don't miss it at all. I'm perfectly fine with coming home from work and picking on my daughter and staying home with her all day, all night. We're always together. Like,
there are other things that you can do to have fun and not go out and party. You know what I mean? Like, we like to go out as a family, go shopping, go to stores, go out to eat, go to the zoo. Just do different things. So the old lifestyle that me and him used to have, I think that it wasn't the best choice. But everybody that's young goes through that stuff. It's part of life. But
and also when you have kids, you can't plan nothing ahead of time, because if this happened to us a lot of times. We're like, okay, Friday comes and we're like, tomorrow we're gonna go, for example, beach band, and then we're gonna go to the park, and then we're gonna go get some ice cream or whatever. And then what happens? Sophia gets sick. And
we're gonna go to the zoo, and then she got sick. So
yeah,
like,
she gets sick all the time, so that's another thing. They're always sick, and
Sophia?
a lot of times you don't know what's wrong with them because obviously they don't know how to talk. But you gotta guess. You kind of learn how they are as they grow. You know, they kind of give you hints what might be wrong, but it's a blessing.
Yes.
But you don't know what you're missing out until you have a child. I mean,
I
they
did
make
not
you
know.
smile, they make you fuss, they make you cry. 'Cause when you go to their shots, I mean, that's horrible.
I cried.
Oh, man, I didn't like it. Whenever you gotta go to the hospital all the time they get sick all the time, like I was saying. So you barely have time to do anything, especially when they're really little. You don't want to take them out all the time because they get sick with minimum stuff. So yeah, but I think so far we've done a great job raising Sophia. She is now, let's see, a year and 4 months. So before we know it, we'll be planning her second birthday. And hopefully at a bigger place. Maybe a better home. Oh yeah, talking about a home. When you become a parent, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. So whenever we were living at the apartment, I had a very nice Audi S4. Nice. I mean, everywhere I went, I got compliments. Beautiful car. Like, if you guys know me, I'm always into cars. I've had nice cars basically ever since I started driving. So I had to make a choice. You know, I knew I was going to be a father, and I was like, you know what? I can't afford a house and a car right now, so what's more important, the house where she can come and have a nice place to live, or have a nice car and still paying rent, and maybe not the cleanest place that she can possibly come to. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell my car. So I ended up selling my car, and we bought a house. It took forever, which that's another video. I'm going to tell you guys how I got my house at 21 years old. But yeah, I sacrificed a lot of things. I quit MMA. That's why I don't go there no more. Like, that was my thing. That was my hobby. After work, MMA. I was getting good. I think I'm still good. Like, I'm really good. I think so. But, you know, I couldn't afford to pay that too. That was pretty expensive for me at the time. But I will go back. I will go back to those things that I had to stop doing. One day I'm going to have a nice car again, and I'm going to be able to go back to training MMA and maybe even open my own gym, which is one of my dreams. So I think that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and give it a thumbs up if you guys like it, and don't forget to subscribe if you guys want.
Sophie, you gonna say
We're going to have more videos like this from now on, now that I got her in here, which that was the hardest thing to do because she's so shy.
If you guys have other ideas for us too, just let us know, like what you guys want us to make a video about, and we'll do it.
Alright,
Say bye.
it's a wrap.